Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. I spent $22 at an estate sale on books, and let's see how I did. I had some hits, and I have a couple that I'm super excited about, and I had some misses. So I'm going to show you the good and the bad and the ugly, right? I'll let you decide which is which. But hey, this estate sale, it was interesting. First off, the prices were great. This estate sale company, it's North Alabama. Hardbacks were $1 and paperbacks were 50 cents. So I know that's foreign to a lot of you guys living different areas of the country. And I've got some estate sale companies that have really raised their prices. There's a new one running around that I went to one of their sales. All books were $5, and it's like, it was just crazy, right? So anyway, this estate sale company, hardbacks are $1, paperbacks are 50 cents. So that's the baseline. I spent $22 total, and I don't know, we'll count. I probably bought, I think I had 13 hardbacks, and so that would be 7, 9, 18. So I bought like 30 to 31 books, right? And this sale, it was like at 1 o'clock, so I took a late lunch from my real job and got there, and it was like, it was 100 degrees, baking sun, but the house had a porch, but got a number. Went to sit in the car. I got there like 15 minutes early. It was so hot, and so they got up to the door, and they're getting ready to let people in. I'll tell you the story. This older guy comes up. I was talking to this other guy that I had seen at sales before, and I could tell there were a lot of booksellers there because there was, especially one lady, she had like her boxes in her bags, and it looked like from the photos that there were going to be a lot of books. But it was a little disappointing. I guess the last minute, the family had withheld a bunch of stuff, and so there were a lot of books that were advertised that weren't actually in the sale. But I was segueing this little story. I was sitting there and I was talking to this guy, and this older guy come up and he goes, "Let me tell you a story." He said, "My father, and this gentleman was probably in his 70s. He said, my father, when he was older, he was suffering from dementia and had prostate issues, and I took him to the doctor, and of course the doctor did the prostate exam, the DRE, and the doctor said okay and left the room. And he said, my dad, as he's taking the gown off, he said, 'Why did he do that?' And and then the guy just walks off. So we and this other guy were laughing, just looked at it, we're like, I mean, that was the most bizarre. I guess that's one thing that's good about estate sales. You never know who you're going to meet, and maybe I just have a face that's like, hey, let me go talk to this guy and tell him something. I have no idea if it was true or the guy's a joke, but that's what the guy told me. Yeah, the doctor left and he said, why did he do that? Anyway, so we got in the sale. It was a 3-story house, and I didn't see anything on the ground floor. I had a choice. So I went to the first floor, and there were no books. So I went up to the 3rd floor, or the upstairs. There were books, and there was this one lady there that had already cleared out one entire shelf, like a shelf here behind me. She had taken just everything out of it and put it in her boxes. And so this was not a sale that you could pick and scan. You had to just go, right? So the good thing is that for $1 hardbacks and 50-cent paperbacks, if you make a mistake, it wasn't like the end of the world. But hey, I hit some good, and I hit some that I wouldn't have bought if I had time to do comps. And I guess I could have got me in a corner and done the comps and then put them back, but I just didn't. At those prices too, okay. Let me jump in and show you what I got. Great subject matter. I'm going to tell you some things why I maybe went to a few things, or thought. First off, there were railroad books, and this turned out to be back in the basement. When I went back down, there's a little side room and a little nook, and they had some railroad books that were like for $5, but all the others were $1 or 50 cents, and I picked up some pretty good ones. This one on Appalachian coal mines and railroads. It's kind of a cool cover, and these books are standard. I mean, this one gives diagrams, but also the railroad books always give lots of photos. Again, 50 cents for paperback. This is a $12 to $15 book. I've seen this one sell. Here's Wiring Your Lionel Train. This is Intermediate Techniques, Volume 2. I see this one selling regularly for 15, possibly 20. Here was actually the advanced copy of that, again for 50 cents. This one's interesting. I see this one, I got a note here on it. I see this selling for like 30 to 35 on eBay. I actually have it sold on Amazon. It has it's only like sold one in the last 6 months, but it sold for 75 bucks. I think that with that kind of, it's only gonna sell one at that price on Amazon. I won't be greedy. I'll list this on eBay. If I can get 30 or 35 for it, pay 50 cents. I like it. Okay. Here's another railroad book on the American locomotive. It's a $20 book. Now, I will say that, railroad books are something I always look for, but they're not guaranteed, just like anything else. I wouldn't pay a lot of money for them without checking them, but for $1.50, all those paperbacks, it was worth it. So, oh, okay. Here was, this was like from, I don't even know where this is. The B&O Railroad Museum, right? It's not like Monopoly, B&O Railroad, but the museum, I guess I should have looked up where the visitor guide. This is for a visitor guide. I'm sure it's Baltimore, right? Baltimore, Ohio. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, it's a good $10 book. Should sell for 10. Now, these next ones had this Greenberg's Lionel Trains, and it gives history, prices. Some of these can be dated. They update them. This one I find selling for about 10. This one I see it selling for more like 15 to 20. So I don't know. I may put these together. You have 1945 to 69 and 70 to 91. I may put these together and ask 25 or 30 bucks for them. But again, I paid 50 cents each. I like it. Let's see, there's a few more railroad stuff, but here's switching gears a little bit. This one was ultra cool. This was the houses that Sears built, right? When Sears used to have these catalog homes, you could order your house. Now, this one, I've got sold comps on this one for 38 on eBay. This is one that's interesting. Some feedback from, if you guys, Amazon sellers, okay? I got sold comps 38 on eBay. I see Merchant Fulfilled for like 48 on Amazon. Actually, FBA on this is 106. I don't think that somebody's gonna pay $106 for this. So I probably will just list this on eBay for 35, 38 and let it rip. So, okay. Now here's one I thought was just kind of cool. I thought, this is at the right hand of Long Street, Recollections of a Confederate Staff Officer. Again, this is only about a $10 book, maybe $8. I probably, if I had comped this, I would not have picked this up. But I paid 50 cents for it. Here's one, this, I don't know how you say that. I've sold this book before. This Corporal, oh sorry, I almost knocked off everything. This Corporal H. It's a $10 or $12 book. Again, I've sold variants of that have sold for more. But I probably would have passed on that, just, profit versus, some of these are, okay, so let's think about if, there's a lot of time, 50 cents and turning 50 cents into $10 is good. That's great, right? And I would say historically, I'd do that all day long. I've kind of gotten where I'm trying to up my average, my book sales price and go for higher price stuff. And it's because I've got inventory built and I have the luxury of doing that. But sometimes it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes when it's just cool stuff, you got to just buy it and go for it. So anyway, obviously it'd be nice to have your whole inventory, big profit margin stuff, but nothing against making $10 on a book. I do it all the time. Here's this Lionel Reproduction Handbook. I've got sold on this 5 to 9. Again, it's not a big, I probably would have passed on that one if I had comped it. I don't have sold comps on this. It's just a little pamphlet on the, I I don't know, Patapsco Guards, Maryland Infantry, little history, you know, Civil War. I've got a list comp. Somebody else has got, there's one of these out there for 20 bucks. You know, so it kind of gives you a list comp. This is cool. About $15. The Civil War Reenactors, Black Powder Guide. Now this is something, it's not a high dollar book, but it gives an example of the things that, like, so you got Civil War, you got hobbyists like a reenactor, also black powder. It's got 3 or 4 different areas that it crosses over. It's always good when you can do that with a book. Here was one that was, it's gonna be hard to see. It's the history of the Baldwin Locomotive Works. You can see that it's, you know, it's got, you know, some train illustrations, but history of the Baldwin Works. And it's only about a $10 book, this edition. Then here was a Taro book. This one I see selling for 15 to 30. This one's a little ratty. I think I'll only get 15 tops of that because of the condition. All right, I bought this one. It's not worth. It's only worth $4 or $5. I won't even resell it. I'll probably just redonate it, or I don't know. But it was D.H. Lawrence, and I love the cover. I just love the fonts and the color. This psychoanalysis and Fantasia, 2 of his kind of discourses there. Yeah, it's not really worth the resale for me. I mean, it's only pay 50 cents. You know, $4 or $5 after fees. It's not going to be worth my time. Here's another one that's kind of weird. I wouldn't have bought this one probably if I'd comped it. The Cherokees. It's an early edition. I see this listed. I see it selling anywhere between 5 and 30. This is an early edition. It might go for 10 or 15. I have to do a little more research. But if it's, you know, it may just, if it's a $5 book, I won't take the time to sell it. All right, here's one that I will probably send to Amazon. It's selling, it's another Lionel Train. It's selling in the 30s on Amazon. So and it's got a decent, you know, score, ranking. If I send it in, it sells, I can make like 15 bucks off of it. So it'll probably go there. Here's one. I would have thought this one would be worth more. Life and Death in Civil War Prisons. I see it selling 5 to 8. Again, if I'd comped it, I wouldn't have bought that one. So that was a miss. Hey, just being full disclosure. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. All right, now here's one that I like. It's a $28 to $30 book. Cape Cod Railroads. Again, you got Cape Cod as an area, history, railroads, and then, you know, it's got specifically around Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. So it covers multiple things. It's a solid $30 book, and it's really, really a gorgeous book. You know, some of these, this one didn't have full color. It just had, you know, lots of black and white, but that's a good one. All right, here's one. This is only a $5 to $7 one. I wouldn't have bought this one if I'd comped it. Civil War Railroads. Again, I thought Civil War Railroads. Also, it was a Indiana University, university. I thought, okay, that's good. You know, I'm doing this fast, right on the fly. It's only a $5 to $7 book. It probably won't get resold. I'll probably just look at it, enjoy it, and then just donate it to the library or something. Here's one that's about a $15 book. The Little Bugler. True story of a 12-year-old in the Civil War. So, okay. Pay $1 for it. I was actually shocked at this one. This one's only a $5 book. This is Writing and Fighting. Army of Northern Virginia, Civil War, a Confederate soldier correspondence. This thing's only like $5. It's a miss. Hey, I would have swore if you'd asked me, what's it worth? I would have said more. That's why you never know until you look them up, right? Now this one, it's a decent book. It's worth 40-ish. I would have thought it was going to be more though, but I'm glad I got it for $1. I saw this one, didn't even test. I wouldn't even look this one up, period, even if I had time. This history of the 22nd Massachusetts Infantry and the 2nd Company Sharpshooters. So, I mean, this book is gorgeous. You know, it's kind of like one of those facsimile redos. That's not a facsimile. I guess that looked like a facsimile, but I guess it's an older, you know, something was done in 1889 as a rebound. Gorgeous, solid $40 book. All right. Here's another one. I probably knew this one wasn't going to be. It's only a $5 book. Arms and Equipment of the Civil War. Thought, okay, you know, well, I don't think it's specific enough. Only a $5 book. This one's going to be a miss. So again, you know, curator of the lost, but sometimes, you know, I make mistakes, or it's not all, you know, it's not all shiny. Here's one. It's about a $15 book. This Winchester to Cedar Creek Shenandoah Camp. Ooh, get some glare off that one. Yeah, so it's a beautiful cover. It's got the little mylar on it. Real good condition. It's good. Oh, starting to have to watch where I'm setting those. We'll have a crash behind the scenes here. All right, this one again, nice mylar cover. Made me think the way it was, you know, bound was good. It was on bungalows, and this is about a $40 book. I probably will send this one into Amazon, but you know, it's got a lot of craftsman style. You know, it's got interiors. You can see that. Solid $40 book. Paid $1 for it, so I liked it. Part of it on that one was I liked as for $1 I wanted to look at it, but you know, the way it had the dust jacket protector on, I thought, man, this has been taken care of. All right, the last two. The last two totally knocked it out of the park on, I believe, and I'm excited about. This first one, I think it's a solid $40 book in the condition it's in. Could be more, but if you're sci-fi people or fantasy people, Anne McCaffrey, this is Dragon Song. What's cool about this one, I opened it up, looking at price. So no, it's not a book club edition, or suspect it's not. And it says stated first edition. So, first edition Dragon Song. Now, it's a little, I'll try to clean it up a little bit. It's got some scuffing there. Not the best condition. Got a little tear there. You know, comps on this are all over the place. A lot of them, first editions that are high, are sold. But 40 may be pushing it in this condition. I'm still excited about this. You know, I looked to see if there was dragon drums and dragon flight, if the others were there, and they weren't. It was just this one. So I like it. And then the last one, I did knock it out of the park on this one. So the Book of Falmouth. All right, it's a Centennial. All right, this thing it's really thick again, and it was so good. I only paid $1 for this. There's one sale company, they kind of look at if it's bigger, they charge you more. This would have been expensive for them, but still $1. This is Cape Cod area, history, Cape Cod. Amazon, I see this thing, it's listed, there's no FBAs. Merchant fulfilled, there are priced $350 to $450. And on ScoutIQ, they give it an E-score 5, which means it's selling about every 4 to 5 weeks. One of them has sold. So this one by itself is a huge win. You know, I'll probably list it. I may list it for $350, $400. Send it in to FBA. Gonna be a good one. So, you know, I don't know. I kind of looked at it before I did the video, and I think that $22, the you know, sales potential here is $600 to $700, even with the losers. We'll see. Some of them could go a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but over $500 easy. Especially since the one is like gonna be a $350 book, right? So pretty good profit potential off of $22, and I'm glad that I went. Man, and I'm telling you, the lady that was loading up boxes, she was going to town, so just didn't have time. You had to go. So anyway, there it is, you know. And I think the takeaway is, you know, that, you know, even you look at these videos, some of us we all make them, and we're showing you all our successes, and you know, hey, sometimes we miss, and that's what this was too. You know, I've got some great winners in here, but I've got some that are duds, and you know, I'm lucky that the duds only cost me $1 or 50 cents, but I didn't have time to really do good comps on them, and I just, you know, I just took a chance and did it. And that's what you have to do when you learn, right? That's why knowledge is power. You know, there's nothing wrong with scanning. Hey, I scan when I can. I use my phone. I look up comps on eBay. I got ScoutIQ. It's another tool in the toolbox. Some people are like, oh, don't scan. Scanning, you know, you're awful. Well, no, it's a tool in the toolbox, but nothing replaces knowledge as well. So, you know, there's certain situations when you just got to pull that trigger. So, hey, if I have time, I'm gonna try to do my comps and due diligence right there. Sometimes you don't have time, you don't have the reception, whatever. You just got to roll with it. And you know, if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's how you learn. So that's it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. $22 sold. And you guys, thanks for viewing. Hey, if you hadn't subscribed. Look forward to your comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.